So Anthropic has just officially released their latest model called Fable 5, and it is absolutely destroying the entire internet right now. Even in the last 2 hours, it's received on this single announcement on Twitter alone 8 million views, and for a very good reason, because this new model they just released literally destroys every other publicly available large language model available today. Now, this is great news for anyone other than companies that have the name OpenAI, who just happened to file for an IPO like literally yesterday. The only interesting thing that I find about this is that 4 days ago, or maybe 5, Anthropic released another tweet saying, hey, essentially, we believe it would be good for the world to have the option to slow or temporarily pause frontier AI development to enable societal structures and alignment research to keep up with the advancement of this technology, which, to be fair, I do think is probably a good thing with how fast everything is going. I just think it's kind of ironic that this was released literally a couple days later. Looks like that ship has officially sailed. So let's get into Fable 5 and why it is absolutely game-changing for large language models. The first thing is that they actually released 2 today. The first is Fable 5, which you now have access to on a paid plan, and the second one is Mythos Preview 5, okay? But Mythos is only available to a small group of cyber defenders and infrastructure providers, so realistically, most people watching this are not gonna have access to it. Essentially, in their own words, it's a state-of-the-art model, which pretty much crushes across every single benchmark. Let's take a look at those benchmarks together. I'm actually going to zoom in here. So you can see Mythos 5 and Fable 5, and then you also have access to Opus 4.8, GPT 5.5, and Gemini 3.1 Pro. I'm not going to go through all of these, but essentially you'll notice one major thing. Across every single benchmark, it is absolutely destroying the previous models. So agentic coding, it's doing fantastic. But the interesting thing about coding is this frontier code, okay? And the reason why this is interesting is because these are like the very difficult coding challenges, right? So these are kind of more basic ones, these are more difficult ones. And on the difficult coding problems, it's literally doing 2 times better than Opus 4.8, or like 6 times better or 5 times better than GPT-5. And again, this trend continues across knowledge work and knowledge work requiring visuals and spatial reasoning and so on and so forth, all the way down the list, okay? In one instance, Stripe reported that Fable 5 compressed months of engineering work into days. So they had a coding base of 50 million lines of code. I just don't even want to imagine having to work on that manually. That would take so much time. But they were able to condense the entire code base wide migration into a couple days that would have otherwise taken, keyword here is a whole team, and the other keyword here is 2 months by hand. So you can see how fast and also how accurate these large language models are getting. And if you compare it to Opus 4.8, especially with the medium option here for Claude Fable 5, not only does it score higher on accuracy, but it's also cheaper than Opus 4.8. One has to think or reason longer to solve problems. Okay, moving on past this, we can see the WSE Benchmark Pro. We kind of touched on this a bit, but essentially these are for more basic, or I shouldn't say basic, but like easier coding problems. And you'll notice that they're all pretty similar together. However, when you start getting to very difficult coding problems, this is where Fable 5 shines. And we're going to be building out some complex web applications in this video so you can actually see the difference between these 2 models, Fable and Opus. Now, just 2 other things here is that any tasks involving vision, Fable 5 has built out a state-of-the-art model for this. So if we take a look at this video, you'll notice that Fable 5 literally beats Pokémon by only looking at the screen. That's crazy because this technology has come such a long way. That's honestly really hard to watch because everything's flashing incredibly fast. And the next thing is for tasks involving memory and long contexts, it's also kicking butt too. You'll notice that with a lot of the publicly available large language models today, they have a limit of 1 million tokens. But even before that, when you're reaching those upper limits, it starts forgetting things and hallucinating hallucinating, but with Fable 5, it does a substantially better job. In this video, you can see it's actually playing the game Factorio over a long period of time, and it's still crushing it. Man, I would not want to be playing Claude in this game. I'm sure I would lose. So now let's go ahead and demo the difference between Opus 4.8 versus Fable 5 with the prompt I put here. It's a one-shot in both instances to build a flight simulator that has real physics. First, we're going to start with Opus 4.8. You can see the plane moving left to right, but I can't actually move forward. So there's already a bug out of the box. It doesn't even work. Whereas if we head over to Fable 5, everything's looking good. You'll notice the plane is slowly moving forward at the beginning, and then it's picking up speed, simulating real physics. And you can also see the speedometer at the bottom left. You can see that the speed is picking up, and we can take off for launch by, oops, I'm going the wrong way, by moving the plane up in the air. I actually stalled it out, crashed, but you get the point. I could fly. If I was a better pilot, I could navigate this thing properly. Point of the story is that Fable 5 is awesome, and the second point is you probably never get on a plane with me driving it. But anyways, the thing is like, Fable 5 can one-shot really complicated projects, whereas with Opus 4.8, you might be stuck spending hours going back and forth trying to find the ideal solution that Fable 5 could have one-shot the first time. Now, one other example I want to go over is that instead of building out something pretty complicated like a physics flight simulator, if you're building out like a financial chart, which is probably a lot more easy to build, and it's funny saying that because even like 2 years ago it was like mind-blowing to have AI do something like this, but it's way more simple than a flight simulation. Both Opus 4.8 and Fable 5 can do a phenomenal job. You probably can't even tell the difference between the two, and here's the reason why I'm still going to use Opus 4.8 for the vast majority of projects, because for everyday things, like, I don't need the world's bleeding edge, most powerful AI model. Like, most things I do on a daily basis are pretty basic, and anything is going to get the job done. So instead of paying twice as much for a model like Fable 5, I'm just going to go ahead and use Opus 4.8 for the majority of the tasks. Now, where I would use Fable 5 is for anything where I want it to essentially run overnight. I want it to be able to one-shot any really cognitive heavy tasks or any deep preparation that I need to do to get the best results possible, at least for the planning and prep phase, and then pass that off to Opus 4.8, where it's cheaper to do the majority of the work. Now, when it comes to security, this is a huge point, because the problem is that obviously when you have a very intelligent and very sophisticated large language model in the wrong hands, obviously that's problematic. And so with the team at Anthropic, they tested Mythos preview in a sandbox environment, and they essentially said to it, hey, I want you to escape this environment and then message the research assistant in charge after you've managed to go ahead and do so. And they kind of made it in a way where it would be incredibly difficult for any, large language model or person to escape. And what happened was Mythos preview was able to find essentially a backdoor access to the internet through a system that was only intended to access a couple services, and then was able to message the research assistant on their lunch break. So you kind of get the point. It's incredibly sophisticated, especially at finding security vulnerabilities. And why that matters is because in rare instances through testing, Mythos preview attempted to conceal the fact that it took an action that it appeared to know were forbidden. So in one case, it found an exploit to edit files that it didn't have proper permission for, and then the AI model, and here's the important part, made further interventions to make sure that any changes it made this way would not appear in the change history. So it's actually manipulating the researchers to try and conceal the fact that it's doing things that it knows that they would not approve of. So the point obviously is that there's a lot of risk releasing a really powerful model like this to the general public. But if we scroll down the page to see what Anthropic has wrote about the security that they put through, the first thing is that they did do extensive testing to make sure that it can't be broken into or manipulated or used for bad purposes. They ran an external bug bounty that produced no universal jailbreaks across 1,000 hours of testing. And you'll notice that compared to previous models like 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, based on the amount of tax, Fable 5 is substantially lower than the other models. And the other interesting thing is that they are going to require 30 days worth of retention for all of the data you send to Mytho class models like Fable 5, so they can study, evaluate it, make it safer so that there's way less security risks in the future. In order to get started here, you can head over to the Claude desktop application, start a new chat, select the model Fable 5, and you'll notice that it is included for free in the Claude application until June 22nd, at which point in time the price will go up to 2 times what you're paying Opus for. Now, if you're using this via an API, automatically you're going to be paying 2 times Opus's price before and after June 22nd. And if you want to use this in an extension like VS Code or anti-gravity, what you can do is head over to the terminal, type in Claude update, which will update the instance of Claude Code so that you have the latest model. You'll need to close out VS Code, open it back up again, hit the / command over here, change the model, and now you have access to Fable 5. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.